Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to episode 11 of my Legend Play series. Alright, today we are still talking about Open Great League. I hope you guys are enjoying it. It is Interlude season at this moment at which I'm publishing this, and it's a part where there's Open Great League available. And so today's topic, applicable to Great League but also other leagues as well, is management of your opponent's energy. And so I'm going to talk about advanced ways in which that can help you win games, basically. So we're going to look at some matches. Again, shout out to Smash King for what I call the Smash team. We've got Umbreon, Defense Deoxys, and Shadow Nidoqueen as my team of choice here for Open Great League. And some of these matches we're going to look at are actually from my Legend push in Season 10. And then one or two of these I think is also from this Interlude season. So with that said, I'm going to jump into playing match 1. A little bit of a queue time. This is sped up at 125% of its normal playback speed. And this is one of those matches where I was queuing up in the Legend push. I think I was in the 2900s. Finding opponent. Finding opponent. I include this to show you what it's like. Hopefully we do get the other ranks back beyond rank 20 after the Interlude season. Look at that, we found a battle. This person's in the 2800s. I might have been in high 2800s at this moment. Alright, so we've got the Bastiodon lead. So I'm wondering, is this a Sableye Medicham team in back, or is this like a grass hole line? Because that was popular as well. And I let them get a move through there. What I usually like to do is to build to 2 foul plays and to try to CMP with them, but they weren't going for that either. Alright, so now I have a little bit of energy stored, but they've farmed up a little over one move. So I immediately go into DD. Their Bastiodon is about half health, and when I see this Tropius, I'm honestly a bit worried because, and I'm glad I have a little bit of residual energy on Umbreon, because this to me screams grass hole. There's double grass in the back and the Bastiodon in front, and they probably have Shadow Vic in the back, and it would have been better to potentially align Defense Deoxys with Shadow Vic. With one or more shields down, because then the Psycho Boost from Defense Deoxys, if I could land one that was not debuffed, then it could potentially KO or get the Vic really low. So I come back in to soak damage here and try to fight back here. And I have to figure out, what am I going to do? I can't have... I'm glad that the Nidoqueen... I'm glad that the Tropius already threw. And then I decide, you know what? I'm going to get an energy lead on Nidoqueen, because I don't want to face either of their Pokemon. If it is a Shadow Vic, I don't want to face it without energy. And so what I need to do is really keep farming up here. Farm. And then I do need to threaten them before they try to threaten my shield. But at least I've farmed up over... There we go. I have a Fang. I need that Fang because these Razor Leafs are going to hurt. They let the first one go. Ooh, this is a race to do fast move damage. Get the second one here. Now here's the important energy management tactic here. I'm going to immediately swap, because I don't want them to get to a move and throw it on Nidoqueen, and I want my fast moves to now do enough damage to do that simul KO like we saw. And there we go. Otherwise, I get farmed down, and then the Vic has a move to throw at Umbreon, and I can't do what I just did. All right, in this match, I'm going to overfarm. So we saw my Umbreon into their defense Deoxys, and I'm anticipating that they at least try to build up to maybe somewhere near a Psycho Boost, and then switch out before a foul play is delivered. And they actually tried to catch a foul play on their own Umbreon. And so I have to be mindful that they could be at or near the Psycho Boost on the defense Deoxys. And I'm just going to stay in. I don't mind the Umbreon versus Umbreon mirror right now. It does concern me that they're throwing... That was a foul play. But let's see what we can do here. So now they go into their Vigoroth, and I go ahead and decide, okay, I'm going to get chip damage, but a 2-shell Nidoqueen could probably handle that in the back, so I'll go ahead and get energy on Defense Deoxys. And this is not enough to be a bulldoze. Just a body slam. Look at these counters really adding up. DD Psycho type, so it's not actually doing stab type aligned damage with these counters, but it is still really adding up. And I get to counter down before they get that third body slam off. And then now I'm going to go ahead and throw a bolt at the Umbreon, which does have some energy, but it doesn't KO. And I've got to decide, am I going to... I do have energy on DD, but I decide, you know what? I think it's more important here to have Nidoqueen with 2 shields. So I go in to try to get farm. And then now what they're going to do is immediately throw a Psycho Boost. They should have thrown either Rock Slide or Thunderbolt, whatever they had. Now they've debuffed their own attack. Notice that I held on to my energy and I didn't throw right away. Because I want that in the end game so that when I have to face this DD next, I have that energy and I can absolutely shred with Nidoqueen. So we're each down to 1 shield, and it's going to be tempting them. They go ahead and they burn that last shield. But see, now they can try to build up. They could try to build up to 2 Psycho Boosts. But they're already... See, he's going to have to switch out. Remember, they were debuffed from earlier, and then Umbreon already had a move. And so now I just need to farm down, and then if I can do 1 and throw Earth Power before they can boost again, then I can take the game. So it was really key to not throw... I even took a risk there shielding the foul play from the Umbreon. But I think at that point in the game, I couldn't remember if they had thrown Last Resorts or not. And the last thing I wanted to be hit with was like a Psychic. So remember, my Umbreon was really beating down on theirs, and they were throwing foul plays with mine. So I'm not doing an analysis of the match to say that was the case, but that was my mindset in the battle at that moment. And that's why I decided to save that shield for that. And I was really glad I didn't shield the second boost because it was self-debuffed and it wasn't going to KO. All right, going into the next match, Walrein. So one way of handling it is to stay in with Umbreon. Another way of handling it is to motivate it to leave, or if it's going to stay, inflict fast move damage on it, and that's why I went to DD. Because the last thing that I really want is for that Walrein to have an insane amount of energy that it can then use to throw ice moves at the Nidoqueen later in the game. Okay, gonna no shield, and I've already, just through some counters and through a 1 Thunderbolt, we've gotten down to like half an Umbreon. So I'm going to go ahead and boost. It doesn't do very much. It is resisted, and that's fine. If they let me, I'll get to another boost. And these counters and these boosts add up. We're down to like a third of an Umbreon left. I think even less. Guys, that might be like 1/5 of an Umbreon. I committed no shields. Committed no shields there. Now I just come in with my Umbreon and go ahead and last resort me. I don't care. I'm going to end up with still an abundance of HP and also an abundance of energy, just from the fact that their Umbreon swap left them now trapped into this mirror. I don't want to overfarm above 100, so I'll go ahead and at least throw a foul play, and we'll see if we snarl down. You see, I didn't really care too much about hitting all those bubbles. Okay, they come in and they start using counters, and this is where I figured this is how the match would go. So they have, I think, maybe 3 or 4 counters on the Medicham, and then they have a little bit of energy on the Walrus, enough to have reached the first spear right here. So I commit Shield 1 here, and I need to really farm up energy. Ideally, I get to farm down here and leave with energy. Boom. I think right as they're getting to the move, I'm able to jab down, thanks to the poison and the energy lead that I had. And then now I just need to get these off back to back, because I'm thinking they probably have Ice Punch, and they're about to be at that Ice Punch right now. Here we go. Let's see if I caught the Ice Punch. Caught the Ice Punch. I think they actually over-farmed with it. That, or I was imagining in my count. So we got their first shield with a Fang, their last shield with a foul play, and then they really need like a dynamic punch here. And it's just an Ice Punch. This is rank 1 Umbreon, folks, and it's got a foul play. Let's go. All right, so you can see how keeping track of the opponent's energy and making moves to sort of limit the effectiveness of that energy in the match are great ways of managing their energy. Why do you want to manage their energy? Because you don't want them to use the energy in effective ways in the match. You want to try to either deprive them of energy where it would really count big, like with the Walrus. I didn't want Walrein to end up with a ton of energy, and usually it does. Umbreon is pretty slow with its snarls and foul plays relative to Walrein with the Powder Snow and the Ice move. So Walrein would outpace, and if Walrein then committed shields, it could take down the, if I decided I didn't want to commit shields, it easily takes down Umbreon, and then it emerges with energy, and then I could go into DD, but if they swap it out and keep the energy, eventually that's something my Nidoqueen has to face. And I've played that match that way before and both won and lost, and that's where a lot of the times I've decided, you know what, I just want to manage the energy on the Walrus and the damage to it by going ahead into DD. Also, I often, on a Walrus lead, I go into DD to check and see if they have a Ghost. So it's like a twofold purpose there. Number one, well, really three purposes there. Inflict fast move damage with counters on the Walrus, motivated to leave so that it's not getting a lot of energy right there, and also 3, is there a Ghost? And so that's what that move enables me to check and also to do to manage energy. But we saw in some of the other matches too, where you can manage the game by doing things like catches, like with that Medicham. If that last Ice Punch did KO on my Nidoqueen, then potentially they get to try to counter down, but I still think on the Umbreon, but I still think Umbreon still takes that game. But just as a what if and how to be extra prepared, I felt it was incredibly useful to go ahead and catch the Ice Punch if I could on the Umbreon. instead of let them like over farm on my Nidoqueen, and then save that Nidoqueen in order to come back in if they had thrown all their energy on the Umbreon and actually KO'd it. Then Nidoqueen could just farm down. And so if you've been watching my series, that move in that last match at the end, that's called the outnumbered closer technique. But yeah, some other ways of managing energy are to potentially try to realign if your lead is one where neither your Pokemon or theirs necessarily has the type advantage, but maybe theirs is a Pokemon that outpaces yours. So like my Umbreon and the Walrein. Maybe try to consider a different Pokemon in your team that can come in and outpace theirs without really sacrificing a type advantage there. That's another way of managing the opponent energy. It also helps to count the moves, and I mean that's how I knew that they were getting pretty close to the Ice Punch on the Medicham, and what I would need to do to take it out. And also consider depriving them of the farm down with their fast moves. So in one of the earlier matches in this video, we saw where basically I had the Nidoqueen versus Grass Hole versus their Shadow Vic in the back, and I still had the Umbreon on the side. My clock was up, and I could have let Shadow Vic farm down my Nidoqueen because it was about to. But instead, I insta-swapped to Umbreon because I didn't want their Shadow Vic to end up getting enough of those Razor Leafs through. So if I leave Nidoqueen in, it gets at least one more Razor Leaf through, and then it gets one or two more, like we saw it do on the Umbreon anyways. And potentially gets to like a Leaf Blade and throws it, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be able to deprive them of that energy so they can't get to that charge move, and that's where the simul KO of the Umbreon and the Shadow Vic worked out. If Nidoqueen, if the Shadow Vic had survived the Umbreon, I had Nidoqueen to try to get in a quick jab, but honestly, if they're at a move and they get it through, that would have been a Leaf Blade or Acid Spray or whatever coming through at the Nidoqueen, and that's not what I wanted. I needed the end game to be mine, and I needed this to work out where their energy was as much under my control as I could to prevent a favorable outcome for them. And so that's what advanced management of opponent energy is all about. It's not just keeping in mind your energy, but also keeping track of the opponent's energy so that you can either deprive their energy or get them to throw their energy in ways that aren't effective or are not as effective, so that basically you can start to control the creation of your own win condition in that match. And you want to do that again. I've been saying this in other videos, but I'll say it here too. You want to do this in conjunction with other PvP mechanics and develop skills in using this kind of skill or approach with the other mechanics as well. So is your clock up? Paying attention to that is a skill. It's another mechanic of the game. When you can put these all together, that's when, and you can count and put that together as well, that's when you're able to do really super duper advanced management of the opponent energy and flip even tougher matches that way with catches or deprival of the fast move farm. That's what helps seals the deal a lot of the time in these end game matchups where it's not necessarily settled one way or another with a type advantage. So keep this in mind. I'm interested to hear about how you all implement energy management techniques as well. So let me know in the comments. And I do hope you enjoyed the video. I do hope you're enjoying the series. Let me know in the comments about that as well. All right, y'all. Peace out.